Location. The swimming pool will be located taking into account its integration into the surroundings and the direction of the sun, it being important that it be protected from the wind. Other factors such as intimacy and the customer's needs will likewise determine its location. You must always keep the working conditions in mind and check that there are no electricity or telephone lines or water pipes crossing its future location. Marking out. The dimensions of the swimming pool will be marked out rigorously, measuring and applying the precise excavation lines for each model. These lines are given in the DTP installation manual. Apply Pythagoras' theorem to ensure perfectly straight edges and right angles. Finally, check that both diagonals have the same measurement. The marking out process is very important, and many of the subsequent processes depend on it. DTP has marking out sheets for its installers, which are the exact dimensions of each model of swimming pool. In this case, simply put the sheet on the ground in the chosen location, pull taut to remove any creases and fix in place. Then proceed with marking out. Marking out simplifies the process and guarantees perfect excavation lines. You must also mark the maximum depths of excavation so as not to exceed them. Once the swimming pool has been marked out, take a height reference as elevation 0. This will be the height of the basin of the swimming pool once completed. Then, this level will be transferred to the excavation levels of the basin. Excavation. In some cases, it is necessary to use special machinery. The corresponding permits must previously be obtained from the local authorities. The excavation will be done by a specialist using the equipment most appropriate for the ground. It is very important to respect the excavation marks and not exceed the depth levels. If you do, it can only be filled in with gravel, never soil, not even if it is compacted. The bottom and the edges must be cleaned of loose sand. The excavation must be completely clean and uniform. Once the excavation has been completed, it is necessary to set out the bed. For this, trace the axis of the excavation on the bottom, respecting the levels indicated in the installer's manual. Once the levels have been checked, pour the gravel over the entire surface. To prepare the bed, use strikers which will be placed symmetrically to the excavation axis, respecting the maximum and minimum depth levels. Now, with a third striker resting on the others, level the entire length of the excavation bottom. This will be done by sliding this third striker over the others, starting with the high part of the bed. The gravel will guarantee the rapid evacuation of any water under the swimming pool. Placement. First, make sure the swimming pool is properly secured to the crane and that there are no obstacles that might impede maneuvers. Once you have the swimming pool suspended over the axis of the bed, lower it into place on the bed. The swimming pool must rest on the bottom in a uniform, regular manner across its entire surface. It is very important that there should be clear communication between the person in charge of the works and the crane operator. The swimming pool will be positioned precisely in the center using a rod as a lever. Then put tensors in place so that the force of the gravel filling will not deform the basin. Leveling. Once the levels have been checked, the perimeter will be filled in, starting with the corners and then the rest of the walls, progressively proceeding higher. Only gravel will be used for this process. If there are considerable differences in level, you will have to remove the swimming pool in order to gain access to the bed. If the differences in level are less than 3 centimeters, use a striker as a lever and fill in with gravel. Once you have completed this process, check the levels at all the corners of the swimming pool. At other points, simple pressure will be sufficient to achieve adequate leveling. Once leveled, continue with the filling with gravel. A pipe will also be placed at the deepest part of the excavation in order to check the water table under the swimming pool. A small drainage pump could even be installed if the conditions of the ground require it. Installations. When you reach half the height of filling with gravel, install the lights. For this, pass the cable of the projector through the gland. This operation will be carried out regulating the length of the cable, making it possible to raise the light to the edge of the curb in order to replace the bulb when the swimming pool is full of water. The connection between the cable and the light will always be done with fastened terminals, and you must ensure that the joint between the housing and the lamp is completely watertight. Then mount the skimmers. Place guides in the corners to help you position the skimmer correctly, and cover the entire inside edge with polyurethane putty. Put the outer housing on, making sure the screws are tight. Then finally put the cover on. For the connection of the pipes around the edge, flexible hydrotube 50 mm in diameter will be used. The assembly must be clean and orderly. Before filling the swimming pool, the inside must be cleaned with a special product for polyester swimming pools. Once clean, remove any remains or residue with the help of a pump. Then start filling the basin in order to check for any possible leaks in the connections. And finally, fill the swimming pool up to 2/3 of the indicated level. Crowning. To ensure the curbing remains firm, a 13 cm wide concrete strip is recommended. Then, for the coping, follow the plans given in the DTP Installer's Manual for each model. Please don't hesitate to contact our technical service if you have any doubts or suggestions. DTB demonstrated quality.